Hello students, welcome to the continuation of cloud computing. We will be seeing some more details about the basic concepts of cloud computing, mainly the desired features that exist in cloud computing and also the challenges and risks that we may face when we are using cloud computing. So let's first see the desired features of a cloud. So mainly cloud has certain essential features, and these enable services that will truly represent the cloud computing model and satisfy expectations of the consumers and also the cloud offerings, that is the cloud service providers. So there are four important features, mainly self-service, per usage metered and billed, then elasticity, then customizable. We will see each of them in detail. When we say self-service, we mean that the consumers of the cloud computing service. See, already we have learned that cloud servicing is an expect on-demand facility. So we are expecting instant access to resources whenever we want. So to support this expectation, cloud must allow self-service. That is access so that customers can request, customize, pay and use services without the intervention of human operators. See, normally we are going to a supermarket. So we call it self-service because we don't need to depend on anybody to come and take and give us the items that are displayed there. We are free to go and choose whatever we want and also load it in our cart. So the same way here also, supposing the engineer or the client, he is making a request for any resource from the cloud. So the cloud need not take the permission of any human being on the other side. It can on its own decide, that is the software that is provided with the cloud service is giving the result immediately to the user without any human operator intervention. So that is what is meant by self-service. Whenever the user has a demand, he can do self-service. The second important feature is about per usage metering and billing. Now cloud computing eliminates upfront commitment by the user. See, we are taking a cell phone package. We are taking it as a prepaid, postpaid. So anyway, we are paying some money either before or after and so on. But here, this is only when whatever we are using. See, it is eliminating upfront commitment by the user and allows them to request and use only the necessary amount. So we are priced on a short-term basis. If I want it hour-wise, I can pay. If I want it month-wise, I can pay. So on. So it is efficient trading of service such as pricing, accounting and billing. So for what we are using the service, we will be priced accordingly and accounted accordingly, and our bill will be produced accordingly. So metering should be done accordingly for different types of services. So there are different types of services offered by the cloud. We may either opt for a storage, or we may need some processing resources, or we may take some bandwidth requirements. So for every particular resource, there will be a particular rating, particular billing, pricing, accounting, and accordingly only we will be billed. So we don't need to pay any advance amount or excess amount and so on. For whatever we are using, we are going to pay. So cloud is otherwise also termed as pay as you go, pay as you use. All these terminologies you might have come across. The third important feature is about elasticity. Now, cloud computing gives the user the illusion of infinite computing resources available on demand. What this means is it is something like an elastic rubber band you're having. If you have it in your hand, if you want, you can stretch it or expand it to how much ever the capacity of the rubber band. And if you want, you can shrink it and contract it. So depending on my requirement for the resources, I can automatically get my application load increased, that is scaling up. Or if I don't want that much of resources, that much of load, I can get it released. I can release the resources that I'm holding so I can scale down. So it is always available on demand. Whenever I want, I can use. See, today I might have requested for 10 GB to work today morning. But as I started to do my work, I realized that 10 GB is too much for me. Why I require, my work got over with only 2 GB. So the 8 GB, what do? I don't need to worry. In between the work, I find that I have completed my work with 2 GB. So I can immediately release away the remaining 8 GB. So I will be billed and charged only for the used 2 GB. So that way I have this elasticity feature. Then the final feature is called as customization. So in a multi-tenant cloud, meaning to say that, see, the cloud is a huge storage. It is not that I alone will be using it. There will be so many people using it. But then the cloud provider sees to that every user gets his need met. So if I am, let's say, renting a house, for my requirement, the owner will do some modifications. The very next portion, he may do some other modifications for the next tenant and so on. So similarly here also, even if both users are requesting for the same amount of resource, the usage type or the infrastructure service, all this might differ. So based on that, the service of class, whether I want a platform as a service, software as a service, or infrastructure as a service. Don't get confused with these terminologies. In the second unit, we will learn all this very much in detail. So for the time being, you can just understand that there are various types of services available. So depending on the user need, the cloud is customizing it and giving it to you. So two users need not have the same need. Based on their requirement, the cloud service provider will customize and provide the resources. So coming to the next major topic, see, we might have seen lot of advantages with cloud computing, but there are also some major challenges and risks which we should know before we opt for cloud computing. So mainly the very first challenge we come across is cost factor. See, companies can save some money on the system maintenance, management and acquisitions because they don't need to own the systems. They don't need to spend money for maintaining or repairing the systems, managing the systems. But they also have to invest in additional bandwidth. See, cloud is entirely on the internet. So if I am going to depend on the cloud for my daily working environment, then I should have a very good internet connection and a very good bandwidth. Only then it will be possible for me to seamlessly work on the cloud. So that particular part, if the company is not possible to meet, then it will be a huge cost factor for them. The second major challenge is service provider reliability. See, now whomever is offering the cloud service are very big service providers such as Microsoft, IBM, Google and so on. So it is quite reliable, but there might be small hitches here and there, and depending on our company requirement, or sustainability, reputation, there might be small hitches. So we may face some reliability issues. The third point is about downtime. See, no seller can promise a platform that is free of possible downtime. Any technical failure is likely to occur. And if they are very small companies, the connectivity part on the company itself, they may be linked with a very good, reliable cloud service provider. But still, if the user side, customer side, we have low internet connectivity, or we are not unable to provide the basic features required to upload the cloud platform. So these things might cause interruptions, which are called as downtime. That is, for some time there is no connection. We are unable to work. That is called as downtime. So this might always happen. Then coming to the password security. See, businesses should employ always multi-factor authentication. Now you are trying to do some internet banking. When you are trying to transact money, so initially it will ask all the account details, beneficiary, all that. Then it will ask for an OTP. It might ask for your credit card number. So these are all multi-factor authentication. It is not that simply you are entering the net banking with your user ID password, you are finishing the transaction. No. When you're doing the transaction, there are additional passwords, additional OTPs that are asked. So this is called as multi-factor authentication. So we should ensure that the cloud service provider who's providing us is giving us such type of password security, so that we are able to be sure that we are provided proper authentication. Then next we come to data privacy. See, we are saying that cloud is a, again as I told you, we will be reading more about all this in the second unit. We can just understand that cloud is a huge storage. So we won't be given a huge cloud for ourselves. There will be the cloud which is being shared by more than one organization, more than one company, and so on, one educational institution or whatever. So there is a possibility that our data might be, uh, personal data might be stolen, breached. So at present, information breach, information security is still an area of challenge. So the same challenges exist in our cloud computing also, because this is again an information exchange area. So we cannot say, or we are told that information security is 100%. No, we are still facing challenges, and it's a research area going on. So here also the same challenges exist. Finally, the major challenge is vendor lock-in. See, this happens when alternating providers is either excessively expensive. See, say for example, today I am having dealing with one particular cloud service provider, and I suddenly find that he is not very comfortable. I want to change, but the provider might not be willing to lose his customer. So he may say that he doesn't want to lose. So he may say that he will not give away my data. He may withhold my information. He may blackmail me, saying that he may give away my information to somebody else, and so on. So there is a possibility that you may get locked up with a particular cloud service provider. Maybe after some time you may not even require the cloud resources. So during that time, it should be very feasible for you to come out of the cloud service provider. So that way you should verify how good the vendor is, how reliable, how loyal, how sincere. So many things you have to look in. So just as an example, it is like saying you can check out anytime from the hotel, but you cannot leave, but you can never leave. Something like a one-way ticket to the moon. See, information is very important. Once my information gets locked up somewhere, it becomes very difficult for me to run my business or carry on. So these are the major challenges. but then the benefits are huge. So as we go through the remaining of the syllabus, we will understand that cloud is really a wonderful platform, and there are a lot of benefits out of it, and it's really a great boon to our information age. So to conclude, cloud computing is a good solution for many businesses, but it is important to know what we are getting into. That is, what type of cloud service provider we are getting into, what are the services provided for us, and so on. And having plans to address the prominent challenges will help ensure a successful experience. So we'll continue to learn more about all these, and I'm sure it will be very interesting. Thank you.